You don't like football. You think that baseball is boring. You fall asleep during Formula 1. You cannot wait 4 years for the next Olympic Games. You want to try something interesting, something unique. Well, the following sports are just for you. Have you ever heard the joke, what kind of discovery did the first person make who dropped a Nokia phone? Groundbreaking one. Since the old Nokia phones are indestructible, they are much better option than balls or any other tools to throw. Probably that fact inspired the mobile phone throwing championship. The sport started in Finland in the year 2000 and has become an international sport in the meantime. It has 4 categories: traditional, freestyle, team and junior. When the mobile phone throwing was firstly arranged, the motto was the competitors can relieve stress and throw away their frustrations along with the phones. Many of you have heard of playing air guitar when it comes to fantastic guitar solos with fancy invisible instruments. Well, this is no different in the air sex championship. Yeah, we have heard it right. Air sex. According to the legend, the revolutionary idea came from some bored and single Japanese man. In any case, for 2007 onwards, there is an annual championship in the US where anyone, regardless of gender, represents some form of ridiculously exaggerated sexual encounter with an invisible partner or device or something else. The unforgettable masterpieces are then professionally evaluated by the jury of topic experts like porn stars or wrestlers. If you want to move out of your comfort zone or just be shocked, this one is definitely recommended for you. But don't forget, what has been seen cannot be unseen. The Warm Charming competition, which has been held annually since 1980, is located in England. The point of the event is to attract as many earthworms as possible. The competitors have a piece of land, and their method can be very diverse. Actually, the best approach is to use some tool to create vibrations in the ground that make the small animal think a mole is approaching, and therefore they are trying to flee to the surface. By the way, the record is 567 worms in half an hour. That amount of protein is the wet dream of every wannabe fitness influencer, for sure. However, there is no need to worry about the health of the small creatures, as they get released at the end of the day when the horrifying birds are less active. The baby crying competition is held in Japan during the Nai Sumo Baby Crying Festival. The origin of this event goes back 400 years to the proverb, crying babies grow bigger. During the event, the men in sumo dress hold the small babies, and the one who cries first or louder wins the game. The sumo wrestlers tried their best to make the babies cry, like wearing scary masks, making grimaces, or screaming at them to cry. Very professional. Anyway, the competition is very popular and usually oversubscribed, so there is actually a lottery to decide who can take part in the contest at all. The Tuna Tossing competition has been held in Australia every year since 1979. Port Lincoln, a small town famous for its fishing industry, needed a contest that could take place at the annual Tuna Festival. This is how the incredibly brilliant idea Tuna Toss was born, which doesn't require any serious skills or years of practice, and it's also a great opportunity to entertain spectators. Real tuna has been replaced by artificial tuna in the qualifiers due to animal rights activists. However, in the final, the sacred traditions must remain unchanged, so still the real frozen tunas are used, which can reach actually 10 kilograms. That could be a lot of tuna can. Anyways, the record is set by the Australian hammer throwing athlete with a 38 meters long toss. What scares almost every human being and causes the end of the world feeling is actually great fun for a few others. The bee-wearing competition is held in China, the new home of fashion. The essence of the competition is simple. The contender has to wear the biggest possible amount of bees without any special protective clothing. The contest can last up to an hour, during which the queen bee is being held in a small cage around the competitor's neck, and then the nearby hives open and the bees get released. Meanwhile, the competitors are standing on a scale and being constantly measured how attractive they are for the buzzing animals. By the way, the record was almost 40 kilograms of bees. That needed some muscles, I guess. The Cooper's Hill Cheese Rolling and Wake is an annual event held in England, or actually it had been held until 2009 when the race was officially suspended for an indefinite period due to the accidents and vast amount of broken bones. Of course, the hardcore fans still organize unofficial events with less publicity. The essence of the competition is to catch the cheese, which is released on the top of the hill. Of course, this is an impossible mission since the cheese, due to its weight and round shape, easily reaches 100 km per hour. So the competitors really have to push beyond the limits if they wanna be successful. It's also a very entertaining event for the crowd, especially when the cheese leaves the truck and acts as an adrenaline bomb for everybody nearby. The next very special competition I would recommend, mainly for the lover of the redneck lifestyle. This annual competition is held in Beaver, Oklahoma, USA. Well, in the 1970s it was a quiet, boring place. There was hardly any opportunity for fun or even for culture, since the theater was far away. Plus, the locals also needed a new kind of event, a contest that would wake interest and attract hundreds of visitors, hence bringing money to the village. Well, what do you do when the population of the cattle is 16 times bigger than the human population in the town? Thank God human beings are very inventive. So the answer is pretty obvious, isn't it? Cow chip throwing. The sport is not easy and requires a lot of practice though. But fortunately beginners are allowed to throw twice, if after their first shot they lick their fingers. By the way, this is an excellent tactic. You can have a better grip on the organic bomb. Experienced competitors are easily recognizable. On the one hand, they always choose smaller and lighter chips instead of the heavier ones. On the other hand, they keep their mouth closed during throwing, so the weapon's backfire won't be so devastating due to the headwind. By the way, the world record throw is almost 60 meters, much more effective than tossing a tuna. Cricket Spitting Championship has also been held in the US. Surprise! Every year since 1996, the town West Lafayette in Indiana State serves as the venue for this contest. Cricket spitting is the main attraction during the Bug Bowl, which attracts about 30,000 people each year. Visitors have the opportunity to get to know all kinds of insect-related stuff and even to caress the little pets. Cricket spitting is, by the way, a serious, multi-day race with qualifiers and final. However, there are strict rules. The frozen cricket should be placed completely in the mouth and spit out. The crickets must land safe and sound, so it's not allowed to reduce their weights and increase your daily protein intake. The longest journey of the tiny musician was about 10 meters. That's the world record ever since, and probably the longest jump in cricket's history. The arthropod community must be very proud. Horse race, dog race, chicken race. Lame. Since 2017, Dinosaur Race is the new Formula 1. I bet you have already found out where is it organized. Yep, you're right. United States of America. To be exact, Auburn, Washington. The whole thing started as the run of the local pest control employees in funny dresses such as Hawaiian-themed clothes and togas. But those times are over and the era of the inflatable dinosaur suits has begun.